Welcome to the Inspiring Tech Leaders podcast with me, Dave Roberts. Today I'm going to look at the new Microsoft Enterprise subscription tier called Microsoft 365 E7. It sits above the familiar E3 and E5 licenses and represents the company's first new top-level Microsoft 365 Enterprise tier in more than a decade. The company is positioning this package as the foundation for a new phase of digital transformation, one where artificial intelligence is deeply embedded across everyday work. This new plan is described by Microsoft as the Frontier Suite. The concept behind the name is that organizations are approaching a new frontier in the way technology and human work intersect. Instead of employees simply using software tools, the next stage involves humans collaborating with intelligent software agents that can assist, automate, and in some cases perform tasks independently. In today's episode, I'll look at what Microsoft 365 E7 actually includes, why Microsoft believes this new tier is necessary, and what the implications might be for CIOs, IT leaders, and technology strategists across the world. I'll also explore the potential benefits, the possible concerns, and the practical steps organizations should consider as they evaluate whether this new licensing model aligns with their long-term technology strategy. So, let's start with the fundamentals. Microsoft 365 E7 combines several existing enterprise services with new AI-focused capabilities. At its core, the package includes the full Microsoft 365 E5 platform. That means organizations continue to receive the familiar productivity tools such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and SharePoint alongside Microsoft's advanced security and compliance technologies. However, E7 goes further by integrating Microsoft 365 Copilot directly into the license. Copilot acts as an AI assistant across the Microsoft ecosystem, helping users generate content, analyze information, summarize meetings, and automate everyday tasks inside applications employees already use daily. But Microsoft is also pushing Copilot beyond simple assistance. One of the latest developments in this area is something called Copilot Cowork. This capability represents a shift from AI that simply responds to prompts towards AI that can actually execute work on your behalf. Instead of asking Copilot to produce a single output, such as a document or summary, users can delegate a broader objective and allow the system to carry out the steps required to complete it. With Copilot Cowork, tasks can unfold over time rather than within a single interaction. The system can break down complex requests into multiple steps, gather relevant information across emails, documents, meetings, and files, and then carry out work across Microsoft 365 applications while keeping the user informed of progress. For example, you might ask Copilot to prepare for a client meeting. Cowork could analyze past communications, gather supporting documents, summarize relevant conversations, prepare briefing notes, and even draft a presentation. Rather than producing a single response, the system orchestrates multiple actions across the Microsoft ecosystem to move the work forward. Alongside Copilot sits another new component called Agent 365. This is one of the most interesting additions to the Microsoft ecosystem because it introduces a framework for managing AI-driven agents operating across enterprise systems. Agent 365 essentially gives organizations a central environment for overseeing AI agents. It allows IT and security teams to monitor their behavior, manage their permissions, and ensure they operate within the organization's governance framework. But what does it mean in practice? Most of us are familiar with AI assistants that respond to prompts. You ask a question, the system generates a response. But the next stage of AI development involves what many technologists call agentic AI. Instead of simply answering questions, AI agents can perform sequences of tasks across systems. Copilot Cowork is a clear example of this shift. It allows users to hand off multi-step workflows that run across applications like Outlook, Teams, Excel, and SharePoint. The system plans the work, executes the steps, and provides checkpoints where users can review or guide the process. In effect, it begins to function more like a digital colleague than a chatbot. Another key component of the bundle is the Microsoft Entra suite. This extends identity and access management capabilities, so organizations can manage permissions not only for human users, but also for applications and automated agents. Identity has become one of the most critical aspects of enterprise security. As organizations adopt cloud services and distributed work models, identity effectively becomes the new perimeter. by combining identity management with AI governance, Microsoft is attempting to ensure that both people and automated systems operate under the same security framework. This is particularly important as tools like Copilot Cowork begin carrying out tasks across corporate data and systems. Beyond identity management, E7 also incorporates Microsoft's advanced security stack. This includes capabilities from Microsoft Defender, Intune, and Purview, which together provide threat detection, endpoint protection, compliance monitoring, and data governance. In other words, the E7 suite is not simply about adding AI features. It is about building a platform where productivity, AI, identity, and security operate as a unified system. Now let's talk about pricing and availability. Microsoft has announced that Microsoft 365 E7 will become generally available on the 1st of May 2026. The official list price is $99 per user per month. At first glance, that price may seem high, especially when compared with existing Microsoft licenses. Microsoft 365 E5 typically sits around the $60 per user per month range depending on licensing agreements, and Copilot has previously been offered as an additional add-on for around $30 per user per month. When combined with other components such as identity tools and agent management features, Microsoft argues that the E7 bundle provides a consolidated solution that may be more efficient than purchasing these services individually. However, not everyone is convinced that the value proposition is clear. Some industry analysts have suggested that the overall discount compared with buying the individual components separately is relatively modest. This means organizations will need to carefully evaluate whether the integrated package aligns with their technology roadmap, but pricing is only part of the story. The more interesting aspect of the E7 announcement is the broader vision Microsoft is presenting for the future of work. Microsoft describes the next stage of enterprise transformation as a shift from experimentation with AI towards large-scale operational use. In many organizations today, AI adoption is still limited to small pilots or individual productivity tools. Teams might test AI features in document generation or data analysis, but the technology is not yet embedded across the entire business. Microsoft believes that this transitional phase will eventually give way to something more fundamental. The company refers to this shift as frontier transformation. The idea is that organizations will move from using AI occasionally to relying on it as a core component of daily operations. AI systems will assist employees, automate repetitive work, and support decision-making across departments. Increasingly, tools like Copilot Cowork suggest a future where employees can delegate meaningful pieces of work to AI systems that operate alongside them throughout the day. To make this possible, Microsoft argues that enterprises require two essential ingredients. The first is intelligence. AI tools must understand the context of organizational data, communications, and workflows. The second is trust. Businesses must be confident that AI systems operate securely and comply with internal policies and external regulations. Microsoft 365 E7 attempts to bring these two elements together. One mechanism designed to support this vision is something called WorkIQ. WorkIQ is an intelligence layer that connects AI models with an organization's internal knowledge and collaboration data. This allows tools like Copilot to provide more relevant insights based on the way people actually work inside the company. WorkIQ also plays a central role in systems such as Copilot Cowork because it allows the AI to reason across documents, conversations, meetings, and organizational contexts when carrying out tasks. For example, if an employee asks an AI assistant to help prepare a business report, the system could draw upon past documents, communication threads, project plans, and organizational priorities to generate more meaningful results. From a technological perspective, this represents a shift towards context-aware AI within enterprise software. However, it also raises new challenges. When AI systems access corporate data and perform tasks across applications, governance becomes essential. Organizations must know what the systems are doing, what data they are accessing, and how decisions are being made. This is where Agent 365 becomes particularly important. Agent 365 allows organizations to treat AI agents almost like digital employees. Each agent can be assigned an identity, granted specific permissions, and monitored through administrative tools similar to those used for human accounts. This approach allows organizations to maintain oversight while still benefiting from automation. It also reflects a broader industry trend. Across the technology sector, companies are exploring how AI can move beyond simple chat interfaces towards systems that carry out multi-step processes. These systems may analyze data, generate insights, coordinate tasks, and integrate with existing enterprise applications. Microsoft's advantage in this space is its extensive ecosystem. Millions of organizations already rely on Microsoft 365 for everyday productivity. By embedding AI capabilities directly within these familiar tools, Microsoft lowers the barrier to adoption. Employees don't need to learn entirely new platforms. Instead, the intelligence layer becomes part of the software they already use. Of course, there are also strategic considerations for organizations adopting increasingly integrated platforms. The more deeply AI tools are embedded into core workflows, the more dependent organizations may become on a single vendor ecosystem. For some organizations, this integration will be beneficial, providing simplicity and consistency. For others, it may raise questions about flexibility and long-term technology strategy. So, what should organizations be doing right now as they consider Microsoft 365 E7? The first step is understanding your current licensing environment. Many enterprises already operate a mix of E3 licenses, E5 licenses, and additional services layered on top. Before evaluating E7, it's important to understand exactly which capabilities your organization already has. The second step is assessing AI readiness. Successful adoption of AI-driven workflows depends on several factors, including data governance, security maturity, and organizational culture. If data is poorly structured or governance processes are unclear, the benefits of AI may be limited. Third, organizations should focus on practical use cases rather than technology features. Where are employees spending the most time on repetitive work? Where could automation free up time for more strategic activities? And where might AI-driven insights support better decision-making? Finally, organizations should consider running controlled pilots. Testing AI-driven workflows in selected teams can provide valuable insights into both the opportunities and the challenges involved. This approach allows organizations to refine governance frameworks and training programs before scaling adoption more broadly. As we look ahead, it's clear that the introduction of Microsoft 365 E7 is about more than a new license tier. It reflects a broader shift in how enterprise software will evolve in the coming years. The combination of AI assistants, autonomous agents, technologies like Copilot, Cowork, identity management, and advanced security suggests that enterprise platforms are moving towards a model where human and digital workers operate side by side. Whether this vision unfolds exactly as Microsoft imagines remains to be seen. However, one thing is certain: artificial intelligence is rapidly moving from experimental tools to operational infrastructure. For technology leaders, the challenge will be balancing innovation with responsibility. Deploying AI at scale offers tremendous opportunities for productivity and creativity, but it also requires strong governance, clear policies, and thoughtful leadership. Microsoft 365 E7 represents one possible blueprint for how organizations might navigate that journey. And as AI capabilities continue to evolve, the decisions technology leaders make today will shape how work is performed for years to come. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Inspiring Tech Leaders podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your network. You can find more insights, show notes, and resources at www.inspiringtechleaders.com. Head over to the social media channels. You can find Inspiring Tech Leaders on X, Instagram, Inspo, and TikTok. And let me know your thoughts on the new Microsoft E7 license. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in tech.